I must confess that I'm looking nerd fresh. Minty clean like Chris. Sidewalks light up when I step. Batman symbol on my chest. Bruce Wayne fly fresh. So fresh. I'm fresh. Nerd fresh.
Welcome back, YouTube, to another episode of Street Nerds. This is our review of Stranger Things Season 3, or How I Learned to Not Worry and Enjoy the Weaponization of Nostalgia by Netflix. We're going to go ahead and start this off with Kaz over here.
Man, well, it was an awesome season. I really did enjoy it.
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah,
Spoilers. Do not say
heavy.
we didn't warn you. Spoiler review.
I mean, but other people have already spoiled it. And ruined
Yeah.
But we're really going to spoil it.
Yeah. We're in like Alien Nation trunk milk spoiler over here.
But anyway, like my friend Stretch had said, it was a great, dive back into the 80s. It was awesome. Love that. That's what I love about that show, period. But, I loved... I became more of a fan of Steve this season. He wasn't necessarily like the guy you're ready for, the sister to dump. You're like, oh, you want him to get with, Will's brother, but yeah.
Super babysitter, Steve.
Right. No, Steve became the guy, man. He came through in the clutch on this one. He was really awesome, you know what I mean? And then, his interaction with Dustin and everything. I love the way how they just bounce off each other, like he became part of their little clique almost, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like an honorary, inductee kind of thing because of Dustin. But yeah, man, I told y'all off camera, my big gripe though was how you gonna be worried about Will for 2 seasons and then 3rd season you're like, alright, fine, you good, B, right? No monsters, alright, peace out, we got girls, we got chicks.
There's some girls,
trust me,
I
I understand the chicks, I get it. But, bro, you know what I mean? Like, as soon as he's wanting some of y'all's attention, y'all like, nah, we're too busy, bro, we got chicks.
Get infected by a monster, then we'll talk.
No, the new monster, the new, the bubbling and melting into nothingness of sludge and sliding off, the people eating the fertilizer, complete strange things, like, wow.
Definitely Stranger Things.
Yeah, definitely, but I wasn't expecting that new monster, I figured it was going to be the same thing, the shadow thing, but like they said, when you got new chemicals and you mix them, you create a new substance, you know what I'm saying? And that's what this is happening.
About that.
Yeah, that's what happened. Whatever left Will got stuck in our world and had to survive, and it's mixed with, I guess, a new substance, and yeah.
Created a new substance.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So definitely was a dope season. I liked how they used the brother who you already didn't like as the main antagonist, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely ratcheted up his dislikable qualities.
Oh yeah.
In the beginning, so that you didn't mind it so much. They did that a couple times. Well, I'll wait till I get to mine. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah, as much as I didn't think it was gonna work, them, basically the whole season having Dustin split from the rest of the crew. Yeah. Like I said, I liked how him, Steve, the new girl, can't remember her name off top, but how the whole clique just kind of worked that way. It was really awesome. And then Susie Poo, Dusty Bun, that was great. So
cute.
As a quick overall, yeah, it was really great season. Really great season.
Where would you say this ranks overall with the other seasons?
Okay, so I also off camera I told y'all I was very disappointed that they just forgot about the sister completely in 2. It's because I thought that was building to something.
Kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, had we had seen her in 3 at all, mentioned in 3 at all, you'd be like, alright, cool, in 4 this is gonna be awesome. But nothing, not a hint.
He's talking about 11's sister.
Yeah, L's sister, 8.
Yeah.
From season 2. So to answer his question, because at first I was like, hey, I like 2, because obviously 1 is just the build up.
Sure.
But 2 was pretty good, but this blew 2 away to me personally. So.
All right. So Kaz likes Stranger Things season 3. Casino? You want to lay out your thoughts?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can't. I'm gonna go next.
Yeah.
No, take it away.
So, I definitely like season 3 more than season 2. I thought season 2 was extremely boring. It was very oddly paced. It started off pretty good. Of course, because we were all intrigued to see what was going to happen with Will after he spit up the slug.
Right.
So those first couple episodes I really liked from season 2, but then, as you put it, it went off into the
Discount X-Men.
Yeah, X-Men knockoff universe with 11 and her sister 8 in the adventures with the punk rock kids.
Right.
For 2 episodes, just kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, and went nowhere.
Yeah.
At all.
Your mom sent you here for a reason, but what was the reason? You never
Yeah.
touched on it.
Never
was like
mentioned
a-
again.
Yeah.
And so that's what made season 2 even more disappointing from this, when you look at this aspect, because they planted those seeds out of nowhere. So it's like, okay, well, are we going to get any sort of payoff this season? And we don't.
Because season 1, after those first 4 episodes that you told me when it first came out, I was locked. I had to finish the season. I had to finish it. But season 2, I had binge watched it when it first came out, forgot about it completely. And then so when 3 came out, I thought I had to go back and watch 2.
Yeah.
So I apparently had already seen it, so I did a quick recap. As soon as I saw the sister, I was like, oh yeah, I remember where this went.
Yep.
So watching 3, it was like one all over again. I had to see the next episode. I binge watched it. You know what I mean? I had to.
And that's, so for me, this was season 3 was odd, because on one hand, it was much better paced than season 2. I was more interested throughout it, and I did have that, I gotta see what's next type of feel. But definitely as it started to get into those last 2 to 3 episodes, it was kind of like, okay, let's end this. Like, I was ready for it to get to its conclusion.
Right.
I felt like they had stretched some of that story out as far as they could. They weren't giving us any payoff for some of the seeds planted in the last season, which I thought were interesting lanes, just not handled well.
Just didn't go anywhere in that time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for them to just kind of completely throw that to the side, it's, as we talked about, like, even though y'all know how I feel about, and I'll talk on this in a minute, but y'all know how I feel about the whole Russian thing and how it correlates to today, and I thought that was smart, well played, but at the same time, it was far-fetched that they had this humongous base built underneath this mall.
So, just so many miles.
Right.
Yeah.
So for that to have been as big as it was, like you said.
The Austin Power Hallway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like true evil James Bond genius kind of.
Yeah, like I was expecting Blofeld to pop up and then and be like, Mr.
Cause see how it started.
Mr. Hopper.
how it started with them, the Russians with their cracked part of the, the under. I was
but
like,
in
the upside down.
in Siberia.
Yeah.
Right. That was cool.
That made sense. It was like, this thing could have stretched all the way through the world.
Or maybe they stole whatever. Like that would have made more sense. But for them to have this huge base built. And like you said, they would have had to been working on that thing before the even first season of Stranger Things.
Before those events,
right.
Absolutely.
So if that was the case, how did the Americans not know that was there? So for me, as it went on, because some of the story, you're like, okay, let's get to the end. Certain aspects of the story started to fall apart.
Right.
Sure.
So while I enjoyed it overloaded on the nostalgia at certain points for me. And it started to kind of unravel towards the end. I'm glad that it wrapped up the way it did, and it did leave you with enough interesting things to where I have my ideas and theories on where it's going to go.
Right.
And I'm interested to see what they do. But if this next season isn't as strong overall as season 1, I'll probably, I may not check in for season 5.
Four might be enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't hate it. Definitely worth a watch. If you watch the first 2 seasons, you definitely should watch this one because it does do some more interesting things with the characters. I really like some of the things they did with 11 this season. I thought her character development was actually some of the best stuff in the show. And I did like some of the horror elements they were doing with Billy. Like he's got some great scenes in this. There's a scene where he attacks this young lady's family at dinner. That was very, very well done, chilling scene. The scenes where he takes the
real
people.
gripping suspense type.
Oh yeah.
Like not just like jump scare, but that ratcheting up the tension because something's gonna go down.
Exactly. The horror scenes when they take the people to the monster when they're infected, man, like there's some really good stuff in this season. So definitely watch it. If you feel the same as me though, where it starts to kind of stretch a little long, and that's kind of how I feel about most Netflix shows. They tend to go way longer than they should. Like either they go 2 episodes too long, or 3 episodes too long. Kind of like some of the Marvel shows.
Sure.
They just have those filler episodes in the middle. I feel like, well, okay, that's what they have to do for their contract or whatever.
Right.
But
I think these episodes were longer this season. Like I remember season 2 when I was doing the quick recap, they were like mostly 45 minutes. Okay. These were about an hour.
Yeah, they were about 52 to 55 minutes.
If they had stayed all about 45 and just tightened it up.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah.
Probably would have worked a little better for him.
Yeah, but those are my thoughts.
So, Casino likes it, which is rare for him. No, anyway, surprise, surprise, I feel the same way. I enjoyed it. I was very much like you all. Season 2 was pretty much out of my mind. I remember liking some parts of it, but honestly, I couldn't tell you what the whole plot was until I got the recap.
Yeah.
Season 3, I agree with everything you all said. My big thing is with season 3, I'm going to go on some of the stuff that they changed from the previous seasons that I really liked. They didn't quite do what I call the Lost episode ends, where it's basically a boring episode until the last 2 minutes, and then it ends on this huge cliffhanger.
Right.
So you have to see the next episode.
Yeah.
Lost is the one that started that. We've been carrying it on ever since. It's a trope now. The first and second seasons, I felt like they did it a lot. This one kind of felt a little more
Season
organic
2, definitely they did that a lot. Yeah.
This one felt a little more organic. Sometimes it ended like on what's gonna happen. Sometimes it was like, oh wow, that happened. So that was very cool. I kind of feel like they didn't beat us over the head with the nostalgia. I know I said the weaponized nostalgia and everything, and minus a couple things which I am going to get to, that I think they did really well. The second season, they're in the Ghostbusters costumes. They're playing the Dragon Slayer game.
Right.
It's like, it was cute in the first season when they play in D&D, and it's like you're watching E.T.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Like the opening season thing of E.T. And that's where the nostalgia comes from. In season 2, it's just like, hey, remember the 80s? Remember the 80s? Remember the 80s? In this one, I felt like it was a little more subtle. It was done a little better. I definitely agree that it may have gone on a little longer than it should have.
Those last 2 episodes in the mall could have
definitely been condensed. The one thing I really did like was it showed the separation of everybody and going off into the different groups, and it's like, hey, who you have as friends as childhood, you don't get to hold on to those all the time in adulthood. That's the reality of the situation, and it handled that. It showed that this is the start of it, but when it goes down, they're there and they come together, which was cool.
to the end.
And I'm gonna spoil it for y'all because it was not spoiled for me, so you're welcome. But the Neverending Story song, that was so cute. Like, made me question my decision about not having children. Cute. Like, oh my god.
Susie Pooh and Dusty Bun.
Susie Pooh and Dusty Bun. Couple of the year. I'm calling it now.
Oh god.
So adorable. I mean,
That's great.
Playing to the whole nostalgia thing, but they so could have made her the standard trope of she doesn't exist and it's all an elaborate thing of Dusty's or whatever. They didn't. They actually had her be real.
But I actually felt like that was more of a throwback to those 80s movies where the nerd would always be like, "Well, my girlfriend," and no one would believe him. At the
And then
very end,
so I mean, it's
she
definitely
wasn't real.
yeah, and then but that trope also got switched on its head in the '90s
Sure.
with all, so they're kind of
Flipping it back.
flipping it back, I guess.
They're doing the flip,
The
flip,
flipping it, flopping
flipping
it.
and flop, flop, flopping and flipping.
Just absolutely adorable. There's somebody who's on YouTube who's done a 10-hour cut of it. I don't recommend watching that version, but check it out on YouTube. It is adorable, and the kid actually is a singer. The guy who
Right.
plays Dustin was on
Right.
Broadway and played Valjean.
I just
or-
watched the Icon story about him
Yeah.
and stuff. So, yeah.
Not Valjean. He played the kid in Les Miserables on Broadway, so he can actually sing.
This guy.
Um,
Les Miserables. Do tell
the
us more.
nerd in Street Nerds, thank you. Awesome series, and definitely agree with you. Season 4 really does have to bring it and kind of close up some loose ends, but
Absolutely.
I feel like season 4 would be a good season for it to go out on. I think 4 years
Yeah.
of following these kids. Nobody wants to see them go to high school. Nobody cares about when they
Yeah.
grow up. Let's just be done with it.
I think if they do high school, it should be freshman year, and let's just. Right?
Stranger Things, the next generation. All right, well, that's our show. Obviously, we all seem to enjoy season 3. I'd say, thumbs up across the board?
Yeah.
All right. Don't forget to hit the share, subscribe, and all the other YouTubes. This is Street Nerds. I am Stretch.
Casino.
Casanova, baby.
See you next time.
I'm fresh, nerd fresh, so fresh. No matter how I dress, it's me I must impress. So then I must confess that I'm looking nerd fresh.